Welcome to the Not Another Pickleball podcast. I'm your host, Dawson, and my co-host, Vinny, are excited to bring you another episode of the Not Another Pickleball podcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. What's going on, everybody? I am super excited to announce Boston Pickleball Club as our title sponsor of the Not Another Pickleball podcast. Upcoming, they have the New England Tournament Series, the second leg, and I'm also very excited to announce that my discount code DDOG will get you $10 off at checkout when signing up for the tournament. Be sure to give it a try, share it with your friends, and I'm really excited. I'm planning on being at the tournament. I believe a couple other peeps of mine are planning on being at the tournament as well, and let's go and have a fun time. About Boston Pickle Clubs, there is one in Hyde Park, Massachusetts, and there is one in Norwell, Massachusetts. I hit at them a bunch. I hit at a wide variety of courts and places as part of kind of the gig when it comes to reviewing paddles. And winter is around the corner here in Massachusetts. So definitely be sure to check out Boston Pickle Club. Let them know that the guys at Not Another Pickleball Podcast sent you. And yeah, another sponsor that has been with us pretty much from the start, I got to shout out Flickweight. I actually just got a package in for their brand new weighted butt cap bands. Pretty much similar to the cap coins, all that, the butt cap coins, and you just toss it on. It's kind of a similar feeling to if you have the weighted butt cap. Now, I'm really looking forward to tinker with those down the road. And all right, what's going on, everybody? I got with me,
I'm Cody from Dink and Donuts.
yeah, and I'm Dawson from DDOG Pickleball. Let's do this, man.
Let's do it. Jump right in.
Yeah, man. So, for the audience, tell us a little bit about you, how you got to pickleball, all that jazz.
Yeah, you bet. So, I played high school tennis my senior year and then got into playing recreationally in like college, intramurally at the local gym. My now wife wanted me to teach her how to play tennis, and it's just super frustrating not being like a long lifetime tennis player trying to teach somebody how to play tennis. So I'm like, hey, let's try playing pickleball. Um, Born and raised where Selkirk is the headquarters. I can, 10 minutes away, I can go down to the Selkirk headquarters and chat with them and pick up any paddle I want. So we got into doing that, and that was in 2014, and I haven't looked back. There's been a couple breaks here and there, just life gets in the way, and but yeah, for the last 11 years or so, it's been all about the pickleball.
You got me beat there. I'm 2019, so I'm on year six going into seven here.
Yeah,
So that's impressive, though.
it's been a
Uh,
grind, and looking back at the paddles, like I had my very first Selkirk paddle, and you compare it with what we're playing with now, and I tried to take it to the local, like, you know, open play on Saturdays and try to play with the old school Selkirk paddle, and it's just like you can't even like control what the ball is doing because the spin and everything is just so much more intense than it was, 11 years ago.
yeah, I've screwed around with old paddles in today's game with people playing with like hot paddles, as well as
Yeah.
like core crush, all that jazz, and
Oh yeah.
rules and sanctions matter. I'll put it like that. So,
Yeah, you hit the
um,
hit the ball as hard as I can with one of those old original paddles, and it's like, all right, cool, that barely made it over the net. Like, that's
hell yeah,
insane.
you won't miss long much.
No,
So,
you will not.
like, yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, all right, let's got a couple things we'll cover today.
Yeah.
I guess we'll kind of reverse how I normally do the segments here. What's your main these days?
Uh, man, I've had that brought up a lot lately. There's a lot of paddles I've been kind of cycling through right now and just trying to play. But I would say if I were to go to a tournament tomorrow, it would probably be the boomstick elongated. And then I usually deck that out a little bit. So the boomstick is usually sitting with Hessicore and a trigger grip. But I had to replace my boomstick just with edging issues, so I haven't put the new stuff on it yet.
Okay. Oh, you had the edge guard come loose?
Yeah, up by like the where like the MOI weighting system is,
Yep.
the edge guard was starting to peel, so replaced it and just haven't taken the time to put all the stuff back on it yet.
Yeah, I that's like the one downside to those is I keep hearing the
Yeah.
edge guards come loose, the MOI, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that listen, I think it's a wonderful paddle from what I've heard and brief hits I've had with some of them, but I don't know. It's a lot of headache potentially for that price tag.
I mean,
So,
I put mine through the ringer, like the first one. And the first one I had, I think there was, still like pre-production, so they knew that they needed to up the glue and stuff like that on the side, but this one I've had for a little bit now and I haven't had any issues with it. It's almost felt good playing with it, stock. All I have is an over grip on it now. Um, but I would, if I were to go to a tournament, yeah, I'd be throwing my normal accessories on it.
yeah, I feel that. Yeah. I mean, I'm about to say I'm in a rare state right now. I'm normally pondering through a bunch of paddles for a main. I've been pretty consistent for like a solid, month plus now. I've been rocking the Vatic Pro VSOL Power Bloom. This is my tournament one right here, is the
Nice.
limited edition release one, and it's like
Yeah,
the City Knights. It says the city that never dinks. I think this is awesome. I think we need
that's
to get
so
more
cool.
paddles that do that. And the reason why is because I just want to keep the grit fresh. That's it. And they're
Yeah.
so like, it's such an affordable price point that like why wouldn't you have two of them? Like it's
Yep.
like I've had paddles that cost more just for one,
Yeah.
even if being sent, or reviewing or stuff like that. It's like so yeah, I just have one that I beat up. I will admit I do have a loose corner edge guard, but it's not to the point that it's like visible.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I've been doing a little different with these bad boys is I've been screwing around with the flick weighted bands, which I'll get into later on the pod here, but I got one I really like with this thing. So that's kind of what I've been rocking, and I don't know, I feel like I've been rocking that forever at this point. But yeah. So
And those I'm not familiar with the Vatic. Are those wide body that you're running?
yeah, these are wide bodies. So
Okay.
they're like the standard shape. They're
Yeah.
you ever hit the 11.624, like either the Monarchs or the new like Pegasus shape?
No, I have the Hirache X, so
Okay. Yeah, so this is
I'm not much
basically
of a
it's
wide
the
body.
same as their wide body shape. Um, and then Rhombus has a wide body shape similar to this, but it's more of like not the squared off top like this kind of, but it's more of a curve and less of like a squarature
Okay.
on that shape wise. I don't know. If you hit enough wide bodies, you'll see that they all have small different things they do to them. As long as they don't make it like super short, like in
Hmm.
length, I don't have an issue with that. Like I can work with the 16 by 8 fine. But the second you go to like 15.8 or smaller,
Yeah.
I get all those weird miss hits on the top of the paddle and the like swing and miss once in a while, like once in
Hmm.
session, and I'm like, nah, I'm not into that. And so, well, because I used to play like obviously I started on an older side of pickleball, so like it was only elongated. It was just the short handle elongated, like the super
Yeah.
short handle, the super long face, and then my shape has fluctuated a lot actually, but I tried to go back to elongated again because I was playing, a lot of like left side, like aggressive stuff, and it just like the control just wasn't there. Like I would just miss too many balls or So I just was like, you know what? I'd rather play it safe. Like I can know I can play with a wide body or a hybrid, and there just wasn't a hybrid shape I was loving.
Hmm.
And I knew I wanted Gen 4 because I was kind of sick of paddles core crushing on me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, as much as I love like the feeling of a Gen 3, I just, and they're kind of like they're a little more muted. They do the VSOL Pro, the blue ones, and that's kind of the one that feels more like a Gen 3, but they're
Okay.
both Gen 4. And I actually like the muted on this more. I've hit the VSOL Pro version of that as well, and it's good. You know, here's the thing. Again, at $100, it's like you can get them both if you really want to do. Like
Yeah.
it's not like a tough to beat price point compared to the
N-
market, you know?
Yeah, $100 is nothing for a pickleball paddle
No.
compared to what you can spend.
I was about to say, I feel like there was a point last year where you had to spend a minimum of like $180
Yep.
to like play pickleball, which is kind of scary, to be honest. So, I mean, outside of going to Walmart or something, obviously,
Oh,
but
yeah,
like
if you want a paddle, you don't want.
exactly, you want something you can play with, even if you're
Yeah.
not, a top line pro per se. But yeah, so I know we have some paddles coming up that we'll both have, but what have you been hitting lately for reviews and stuff like that that you can talk about at
Yeah.
least?
Uh, so the main one I'm going to right now is the bread and butter loco.
Ooh,
Uh, I'm digging that. It's right there, man. Like that that thing rips and the grit on it is insane. And I'm I don't usually play paddle stock. Threw an overgrip on it and I don't think I'm gonna weight it up. It's doing exactly what I needed to do and it's driving hard and hitting fast and I am digging it. And that's the elongated. I had a buddy test out the standard shape, and I haven't tried out the hybrid yet. I'll probably rip out the hybrid this weekend since I'm on days off. But then on top of that, Quanta.
all right, all right.
And so I have that in the R1. This is the R4. And then I think I have the R5, which is the standard shape with the longer handle.
Yep,
So, but those are kind of like the three I'm testing right now. As far as that the floating core, kind of what they've been saying. And then I have the new diadem blue core edges that I've been rocking as well with, and I don't know where those are at right now, actually. Thought I had them sitting out, but I don't.
that happens to me so much more than you'd think it happened. I'm like, oh, this paddle's right here. Where'd it go?
Yeah,
Then you have to like check the stack. Yeah, it's funny. The Quantas, I never actually ended up doing, a review for him, but I hit a buddy of mine's a couple times. And then I hit I had the new Ripple V2s, the old ones. I think I had every iteration of the Ripple at one
yeah.
point, just because of the way those reviews were supposed to go, and all
Hmm.
that. And I had actually liked the Ripple V2. I just didn't like the heaviness of it. Like I was like, I feel like I'm playing an elongated paddle and it's a standard. I'm like, this doesn't make
I
any sense. I mean, it hits hard, don't get me wrong, but and then
I
I
was
also like, I don't know. Look, the new 14 millimeters are a whole lot better than how it used to be.
yeah.
I'm just still a 16 to 20 millimeter guy. And so at the end of the
I can't.
day,
16 is like I can't go anything wider than that. Like I've tried the 19
you
and
can't
20s.
go 19,
No,
20.
no, it's way too thick and just way too like dull, I guess. It's not I haven't found one that's like poppy and drives and I mean I'm a banger. Like
I love
I
it.
full on tennis swing like everything. And so um yeah, I'm 16's where I love at, but the 14's like a close second, but I yeah, over 16 is just nah, not for me.
Yeah, I'd say this. It's interesting because the first real 20 that I'm aware of was the Selkirk Lux, and it was the first one, and it was like a very control-oriented pillowy paddle.
Hmm.
But you would get this like former tennis player ripping drives with a Lux every so often in these groups, like hitting groups and all that. I thought it was the most interesting thing. Like, and Jack Sock did that for a while in the pros too. I know that. Like that was
Yeah.
his like signature paddle was the Lux
Yep.
originally. But then I think he like quickly realized he was like, all right, I need like a power paddle to play pro, which I totally get,
Yeah.
or like a high tier all court or something
Yeah.
like that. And so, and it's so interesting to see that. Yeah, if you ever get the chance, try 18 millimeter too. There's a
Okay.
couple body helix 18 millimeters I've hit in the past, stuff like that. It's actually a really fun millimeter. It's
Hmm.
pretty niche, but and then I know this is something people don't talk a lot about, but not every 16 millimeter is the same thickness. There are
Yeah.
definitely some that are thinner than others.
Oh yeah.
I
15.5 and
Yeah, 15.5. I've seen some that are like 14.9 and they
oh
calling it
geez.
16. I know. Yeah, I had I think it was a Gamma Airbender, which is just an old paddle at this point. It's probably almost 3 years old. And I put it next to like a VSOL Pro, or no, VSOL Power, and it looked like a 14 millimeter paddle next to it. And like they're fairly thick, but they're not the thickest of 16 millimeter paddles by any means. And I was like, geez, like, um, but yeah, so that's so funny you say that can't go. I feel like that could have been a universal thing. Like they could have universally done 16 and people would have adjusted, but I kind of like that they don't,
Yeah.
you know. I'll say this, look, once you go below 13, it's a lot of pop and a lot of vibration in the arm.
I w I was ripping the oh gosh, drawing a blank on it now. The 12.7. Oh my gosh.
The paddle tech.
Yeah, the paddle tech, yeah.
Yep.
The 12.7. Man, yeah, it's crazy like playing with the paddles that we have now with all foam, and then you go play with a paddle tech. Yeah, it's poppy, but it just feels way more like everything is like you can just feel it going through your hand and into your elbow
Yep.
and everything.
It's because there's like no vibration dampening
Yeah.
whatsoever because there's like nothing in it. And so it's like playing with a piece of plywood almost to a degree. Now I'll
Yeah,
tell you
with
this
grit.
with grit. Well, yeah, obviously there's a lot more than just
Oh
to be
yeah.
clear. It's metaphoric here. But yeah, I think it was the Selkirk, I forget the name of it, but they had a 10 millimeter at one point that was popular for a little bit. And I had a buddy that was playing with it for a while, and he was playing some of the best pickleball I'd ever seen play. I was like, dude, you're playing awesome with that thing. Don't put it down. I tried hitting with it for a little bit. I was like, I don't know how you're doing it though, because I can't keep a ball in with this thing. Like the second I get to the kitchen, the ball just flies off the paddle. But from the baseline, I felt like I couldn't miss because I was usually the thinner the millimeter you go, like it kind of takes away from the baseline ground strokes a little, is what I've found. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Like, I don't think it's that big a deal between 16 and 14. 16 and 10, you definitely are
Oh
going
yeah.
to notice it,
Oh yeah.
or like 20 to 10, that would be a huge noticing. Here's the thing, though, is like, I think they kind of do in a way with the below 12 in a lot of paddles. I haven't seen many recently that are
Yeah.
below that. So, but yeah, well, that was fun. I like that little riff there. That was fun. Anyways, let's dive into this is something I know we both have right now. Let's dive into the Vibras.
Oh, I did not grab it,
That's all
but
right. I
yes.
got you. I got you. I'll show it to the audience. This, here, let's see if it'll focus on it. Yep, is Vibras. These are the Hydration Energy Daily Performance Fuel Mix. You got the same one, the pink Himalayan lemonade or limeade, right?
Yeah. Yep. Pink Himalayan. Yep.
Oh, it's Lemonada. Lemonada. There we go. Yeah. So here, let me pop these back out real quick, just show them what they look like. So it's basically, for lack of a better term here, it's kind of like your little Gatorade pack. It's
Yep.
stuff like that. You use it in, water. What I did is I just took like empty, washed out workout like shaker bottle. I didn't even leave the little ball thing in there that you would shake the protein powder with normally. I just took that
Mm.
out, closed the cap, did the water, shook it up, and that works like a charm for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Wish it was a little bit sweeter. I find myself doing like
yeah,
two packets for like
okay.
one bot just because I want a little bit more sweeter tasting. If not, it's just a little too dull for me. But other than that, it I don't get
You need
like
a little
super.
ice in there too, or something. A little
Yeah.
party umbrella, you know.
But it has caffeine in it. A lot of the sports drinks don't give you the caffeine, and so I like that it gives me some caffeine. I can get away from the hardcore energy drinks that have all of the different stuff in them, and this is a little bit more clean. It has your normal ingredients that you need for electrolytes, especially in tournaments when it's hot. Like here, we just got done, well, I guess this summer a couple months ago, it was like 98 degrees out, and then playing, you're just drinking water constantly. So that was a nice, if I wish I would have had the Vibras as a nice substitute for some electrolytes.
I know they should have hit us up in the summer. I don't know why they hit us up in like going into winter here.
I know.
They're missing the timing here. Although, look, listen, these indoor facilities, you still get hot and quick. Like, right? If you're playing, it felt like it was summer last week when I was playing indoors. But yeah, and even this week too, a little bit, for one of them. But yeah, so I think you hit the head on the nail with kind of the natural feeling. I've never been huge on the packets and all that personally because they always will kill my stomach or make me feel bad. And I'm like, I don't really want that while playing. I'm focused enough on playing. There's a lot of plenty of other stressors and anxieties. I don't need to worry that about that on top of it. And this is like one where I feel fine drinking it. I tried it on court. I tried it off court. I tried it on days I didn't even have pickleball. It's a nice little energy boost. To be honest, I didn't really even notice the caffeine in there. I think it's got to be on the lower side for that because
Hmm.
I didn't feel any more quote unquote like wired in that way per se than I did without it. But I more noticed it as like the pick me up energy wise there and kind of that way. So that might be where it was hitting me too. But yeah, I appreciate that it was kind of easy to kind of implement. I feel like sometimes with some of these, packets, it can take a couple times to get used to them, per
Hmm.
se. And I felt like this one, like right out of the gate, I felt fine. I feel like I could go to a tournament. I could use one of these, take, whatever, couple water bottles, regular water, and I'd be good to go, you know, per se. So I definitely enjoyed it from that. And then, you know, they get a pretty good price on these compared to a lot of these other you know, energy electrolyte packets, stuff like that in quantities. And so I'm definitely a fan, you know. I know we're planning on, kind of continually testing these, as well as, maybe some of the potential competitors, stuff like that. But yeah, I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah,
So
I'll definitely be checking out some other flavors.
yeah,
Um,
I know. I was about to say I want to see some other flavors from them because right now this is the only I only see this and I think it's like I don't know if it's like white lime or just like a lemonade. There's like the only two flavors I saw from
oh, I
the site.
I must have skimmed over. I just keep seeing the pink Himalayan
Yeah, this is the
lemonade.
only
So
one I see on any of their
yeah,
marketing stuff, anything like that. But look, this is a great flavor. I'm with you. I do wish it was a touch more sweet, but hey, I guess that's not the worst thing, mass market, because I've seen
yeah,
plenty of these where it tastes like it's like a lollipop and it's too much.
yeah,
And so, um,
absolutely.
moving on, and I will definitely reach out and see if they can send you some of these after this. We're going to talk a little flick weight here, and I'm actually fortunate enough that they are a sponsor of the pod, so I've been very thankful in the brief time I've had, kind of working with them, being able to test their stuff. They're typically known for they do the coins on like the butt cap. Kind of, yep, there you go. Boom, perfect. That's actually the old one too. They do the tungsten ones are the new ones they do now.
Yeah, they sent me the tungsten, the copper,
Yep.
and then the normal lead, and the tungsten one they sent me was like 23 grams.
Whoa.
I was like, okay, that's a little much. So this one's
I don't
just
even think I
this is
could
a
use
9.
that. Like, I really like the nine. So I always recommend the seven or the nine to people. Listen, hear me out. The three and the five aren't bad if you don't like a lot of handle weight. And that's where I'm going to get into with these is I actually think that these are even better than the cap coins. And these are, for context, they're basically this on your paddle, like the grip band that I I don't think I've seen a paddle not come with a grip band in years at this point. I
Oh,
think
no,
just
I got
about.
you.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Selkirk, they're dropping the ball on the bands.
Oh, come on. You telling me you're paying $333 for that thing and you don't get a grip band? Get out of here. This is like a dollar. Or this is like a dollar and a half, maybe $2 to monogram. Like, that's terrible. But anyways, so yeah, so these are weighted. So they got, and this is one thing I'm gonna definitely tell them, they gotta not put this on the inside, but the outside. So like this is the six. I know it's gonna be really hard to see. If you can't, it's all good if you can't see it. Like this
Yeah,
is
no
the
worries.
three right here. The one thing you can tell is the lighter ones, lighter colors, are
Yeah.
the less heavy, and the darker is a little more heavy. I do think this should have been black since it's the nine and the heaviest. This should have been the dark gray, and then this the light gray, and that's how they did it. But you know, I know this is their first iteration of it. I spent the majority of my time on three, and I absolutely loved it. It's
Hmm.
a very minor difference, but I like it just because with the coins, and I'm sure you felt this feeling, maybe not as much on the elongateds, but if you do a coin on like a wide body or even like a short hybrid, you get this massive dead spot up here because it's bringing the balance point super far down. And it just like, it makes it for a wild ride. If you're used to hitting, I don't know if they can see this. Oh, yeah, you can see this ball dust. Like I got a lot of ball dust right here. Some of it's going up high, a little down low, which part of that might be some mishits, but also just it's a wide range here. This would probably be a little bit lower, that wide range, if it had a cap coin on it. Just because the sweet spot like is not as high now per se. I like the coins on elongated paddles personally. I don't know if you hit them, but the Pickleball Apes Harmony X and
Yep.
S, the elongated hybrid and the elongated, those are like the perfect cap coin paddles,
Oh
in
yeah.
my opinion, because it amplified what they did well, while just making the sweet spot like it felt like you had a wide body with like an elongated paddle. It was insane. Um, so I've
So
tried them on other stuff too. I mean,
my my general setup. So when I put the 9 on, when they sent
yep.
them over to me, I was running the Era at the time.
Okay.
And so the Era, I had the elongated. I had thrown 3 grams of tape on the top, and then 2 grams and 2 grams at like 8 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And I found that I was getting lazy at the net. So instead of like having my paddle like up and ready, I was like dropping the
Yeah,
head
you were
down.
like this or like
Yeah.
dropping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put the cap coin on with all that other weight at the top, and it almost like gave me that like balance point of let me help keep my paddle head up. And but then I was rocking around with like a 9-2 paddle.
Oh my
So
God. I'm
yeah,
shocked it wasn't more, to be honest. Because the nine adds a decent amount of weight. Plus the tape where you're saying was that 1 gram tape or is that the point five?
it was the 1 gram per inch. It may have been a little bit more, but I thought it was like right around 9.2.
Okay.
It's been a little bit now since I had that paddle set up.
Yeah, I mean that's a wild paddle setup. So I don't think I've done a 9 ounce paddle before. Listen, there are pros and cons to it. Like it does feel really solid when you make contact. Like you don't get a lot of mishits with the higher weight paddles, I've noticed. But like it comes to a point where it feels like you're fighting water. It's
Yeah.
like on top of fighting the speed of the ball that just seems to be getting faster, that'd be tough. Although I'm sure your arm would thank you if you could like get stronger with it.
One of the guys I play with religiously, he's like a former D1 tennis player from
Okay.
California. He I'm pretty sure like his normal paddle setup is like 9.5. Like that's where it has to be at for him, just because he's so used to tennis and he's super particular on how the ball hits the paddle face and everything. So
Hey, good for him. That's a crazy setup right there. But yeah, so diving back into these a touch, I personally find the three and the six work the best for me. The nine adds like over zero point 0.5 of an ounce static weight to a paddle. So I'll say this, look, if you don't want to add a bunch of like lead weight and stuff and you just want more general weight, this is a great way to do it. You just literally like slip them on. Here, I'm just gonna use this to stand that bad boy up. And then there you go. Like, not that bad. I did that in 2 seconds compared to, measuring out the lead, the placement, which you and I, I'm sure, love by
oh
now.
yeah,
I've done that so many times. I love customizing paddles and stuff like that. I don't have any issue with doing it, but, I'm thinking for the average Joe that just wants a little more weight and to go play, the other thing I like about these two is they do alter the sweet spot very, very slightly, but it's not as jarring of an alter as adding the weight down here because
yeah,
it's more towards the face of the paddle. So instead of this becoming like a dead spot, like it does a lot, I find with a good amount of the coins, it just more kind of enhances this. Well, only I think it may bring it down like a centimeter or two, if not less. At least with the
yeah.
three, just because it's such a small amount of weight. And for context, yes, I did weigh the commercial grip band compared to these. The commercial grip band weighs less than zero point 0.1 of an ounce to the point that it won't even read on a scale unless you go to a fourth digit
Wow.
after the decimal. Yes. So you have to get very, very technical on that weight. It does add weight though, and that is something I've suspected for a long time because I used to take them off on prior paddles when I was trying to really, really weight pick per se. I don't think it's a big enough to make it a deal as much as just some of them I just didn't like when my hand would get sweaty and I do this and then they'd like roll down on the paddle,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you've experienced as well. So,
Yep. So
uh,
let me ask you this. On the three compared to the six or the nine, does the like stretchy, does it change with the
kind of.
heavier?
So this is the here. This is the nine right here. They're tough. Like these are they're very taut. This is the six. And then the three, just because I have it on the paddle right now and I've used it the most, I'll do it like that. It's a little stretchier at this point, but I've put a good amount of time on the three compared to these two. I still need to do more with these. I just did like an hour on the six yesterday and maybe 10 minutes on the nine before I was like, wow, this is going to hurt my wrist if I keep playing with this like this. Just because I was coming off of a injury. Um, at the time of hitting them mainly. So I was like, okay, I want to not rehurt myself, obviously, but I still am going to test this more down the road. So that was kind of how I did that one. And, they're perfectly workable, I would say, even on the heavy side. Like if let's say you only had the nine, you
Hmm.
could probably work with the nine and be fine. I think that you just might have to adjust like you can wear them higher, you can wear them lower, and that does actually alter the weight, which is
Yeah.
interesting. I always just put it usually right where this is like the U dripping over rip. I put it right where the U dripping is normally like that and call it a day there. Sometimes I'll put it a little over it because they used to, like I mentioned, slip down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of these. I was texting with one of the flick weight guys earlier today. He's saying they're retailing at 18 to 22 bucks. Look, it's a one and done solution. You can move it to any paddle. I think that's
Yeah.
pretty good. Like,
That's not bad.
don't get me wrong. I lead tape on Amazon Prime Day, I think got as low as almost 6.99, which is cheap, but it's like, dude, you and I fly through lead and tungsten tape. I fly through it like it's no one's job.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
like
Like every week it seems like if it's like a week where I'm like, okay, cool, I have a bunch of paddles to test and I'm doing my normal weight setups. Oh yeah, I need
Yeah,
I
because you gotta look, one paddle for testing for me, I usually test 2 to 3 setups, and that's after hitting it stock.
Hmm.
I will admit some paddles, like, yo, if it's coming in at 7.7 or lower ounces, I'm probably not hitting it stock. Like,
Yeah.
I'm probably at that point just gonna get it to the 8 ounces at least, and then see where I want to move weight or add or stuff like that. But I usually try to at least for like one session or half a session hit one stock. And it's so funny you said you're hitting it's the Loco hybrid, right?
No, Loco
Oh,
elongated.
the elongated you're hitting stock right. It's so funny you said that because I was maining the Invader, which is the hybrid from Bread and Butter at the start of the year, stock. The only thing I would do is I would take off the undergrip and I would just do two U drip and over grips because I just didn't like how the undergrip felt. Um, and so, which that'll happen with me with some paddles. It's very hit or miss. But yeah. And so I find that so funny. They're both bread and butter stock mains. So,
Yeah.
well,
And
almost main for you, but
almost
yeah.
main.
Um,
I mained the boomstick in the last tournament, and so it
okay.
might be time to main a different paddle.
Yeah,
So
there you go. There
we'll
you
see
go.
what
It's
happens.
look, there's a lot of real estate. We got Black Friday coming up, the holidays, stuff like that. There's plenty of time still, and I'm sure there'll be more paddles too.
Oh yeah, they're flying out left and right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was just kind of the touching on flick weight there. I know they're toying with some other stuff too. I know they're doing tungsten strips now. They've been doing the coins, stuff like that. Who knows? Before you know it, they might even get to be like tennis where you can put like the putty ball in the butt cap is like the big
So
thing in tennis they do.
Diadem does that.
They do that. Okay.
So Diadem's let me find that Diadem paddle.
You can
So
just, yeah, you pull it out and you can put it in.
yeah, so that's just a clear thing, and there's a little hook in there or a little
Yep.
opening. You pop that out, you can put the putty in there, put the cap back on, or the cap back on, and there you go.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I mean, listen, look. I do think handle weight can do something. I don't know. It's a weird place to experiment, though. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like if you don't like it, you can't exactly alter it that session.
No.
Like you're
Yeah.
you're like you're kind of stuck. Like you gotta either go home or have some people that don't mind you spending like 10 to 15 minutes really getting in there and like taking the outer grip off, moving the stuff, putting it back
Yeah.
on, like that's a session where I'd almost want two to three of a paddle in different setups. And
Yeah.
it's like if I'm really going deep in the handle, although it's funny, I did that originally with my original enhanced Gen 4.5 setup. I went like deep in the handle with the point 0.5 pickleball effect tungsten tape, and I wanted this super headlight feeling, and it just got to be too much. Like the dead spot was insane on it. So I had to like alter it. So I had all four corners going and some handle weight, and I was getting to like 9 ounces, like for not the most powerful paddle, it was a bit much, like the setup. But I'll say this though, it was still a great paddle nonetheless. I know that's one you got in the works right now, so we won't dive too much into that one. But yeah, so I was about to say, you got any events or anything coming up?
So we just finished like the local gym. We just finished a tournament. I went gold, gold, silver in that
Wow.
one.
Oh my
And
God, you're almost
then
triple crowned. Dude, don't
yeah,
brush
but I
over
mean
that.
I'm like in
That's
the
pretty
4-0,
good.
4-5
Like,
category.
yeah, what category are you?
So singles I played 4-0, took
Okay.
gold. Men's doubles I was 4-5 and then took gold. And then mixed, because my mixed partner's only been playing for like I think just over a year and a half now. And think like her duper was like a 3-8 and mine was like a 4-2. So I was like, hey, like it's your second tournament. Let's just go play at the 4-0, see how we do. And we played great. And then gold medal match, the team that we beat in round robin just came back and they had our number and they were on fire in the gold medal match and took us down. So
Hey, that sounds like a heck of a weekend, though. Gold,
it
gold, silver, I'll take that any day of the week. That's
I
pretty
was
good. Like,
I was smoked.
oh, I bet you're exhausted after that. I would be
My,
too.
My legs were shot.
I'm tired after playing like 5 games in one tournament just from like the pure like the I don't think people realize it, like, because like when we go to practice and like rec and all that, you play whatever, like anything from like 5 to 10 games, maybe even more, but
Yeah.
like it just kind of flies by and it's a fun time, and you're not usually playing a different team with timeouts and all this pressure and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
think it takes more of a toll on the body than people realize in the mind. And so it's like, yeah, I'm trying to think. I had a tournament a little while ago. Actually, it was outside, ironically, in October, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, it was good. It was kind of like an end of like a fall ball, like end of fall season, just like a men's 4-0 plus, which they kind of do that a lot in this area. They'll do like 4-0 to 4-5 or like 4-0 plus, and like I usually slot in there. I was about to say, I think my duper is like a 4.25 right now, but I usually say I'm playing, 4-5, but
Yeah.
sign up kind of 4-0, 4-5, just because I don't know. For some reason with tournaments, there's not a lot of like true just level on the dot tournaments I'm noticing. It's usually a
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
So I try to kind of fall within that range usually when the sign up happens. Um, but yeah, we ended up getting fourth. It was a first time partnership though, and the guy is literally 6 months into pickleball. I
Oh,
was like,
geez.
yeah, he's pretty good though for 6 months in. Like, so I was like, listen, give me this with like a few more tournaments with this guy, and let's go do this again. I think we could do it. We ended up losing in the bronze match. It was just like a
Okay.
round robin, but they didn't do a playoff or anything. They just did it off a standing, and
Oh, geez.
we squeaked by like the chin of our skin, basically, to get into the Browns match as like the fourth place out of the round robin. And then ended up losing. It was pretty close. It was pretty close. I remember
Yeah.
that. But yeah, and then I
Yeah.
mean, I did a good amount in the summer. I did like at least one a month in the summer, and
Oh, man.
I'm trying to, well, starting in like June. So,
Okay.
you know, it was like 3 or 4 events. It wasn't anything crazy. I want to get some in here before like the snow sets in here for sure. Just because
Yeah.
I think once that happens, like the courts are just gonna fill. Like,
Yeah. I
so
know I have a tournament coming up like the first week of December. Um,
nice.
I need to take a look at the breakdown. I don't know if they're doing singles in that tournament just because of how busy and populated it gets and trying to just keep up with, the court times and getting people out of there at a decent time, not going from 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night type of thing. So I'll probably play men's doubles. I know that men's doubles is like a 4 or 5 and plus, or there's an open division, but I don't know if I'm gonna tackle the open division for that one.
Open's tough because you can get like pros, like low tier pros in open division for sure. I've had that happen before in some like 4 or 5 plus money ball stuff. Like I've
Yeah,
played people end up playing people that are playing like a PPA qualifier next week and get to like the final round or get to the first round of main draw, and it's like, you know, it's a
yeah.
tough turnaround for us, average Joes.
And I know the open division, I know at least a few a few like I guess you're saying like pro qualifier tournament
Yeah,
level
like,
people
well,
that
because
are
you
good.
can't do it as a contracted pro. They won't let you unless like
Yeah,
you get an exemption. So it's kind of that tier below where like they're pro,
yeah,
but they're not like making a living off of it, but they're trying to. So like they're full-time pickleball still, per se.
yeah. One sec.
You're
The
good.
wife is blowing up my phone right now. This
All
can be
good.
a
All good.
great little.
I listen, we might have to touch in on mixed. I was shocked you weren't playing with the wife.
Let's jump into that in just a sec. I guess there's people I need to come inside real quick. So
You're good. No worries.
we're
We'll
gonna have to
take
do
a
an edit.
pause real quick. But yeah, so let's get into that. So is this some bad former juju here, or are we playing it safe here?
The wife and I can play recreationally with like friends together,
Okay.
but tournaments were at totally like two different levels. She's very beginner, maybe intermediate beginner type of level, probably like 3-5. And so just trying to, without completely sandbagging and going down to hers and not bringing her up to 4-5 and just not having fun. So she just doesn't do a lot of tournaments. She's more of like the keep the kid calm and is my little like support group.
I love it. I love it. And hey, she lets you play more pickleball.
She brings me my Vibras mixed water drinks and is making sure I'm staying hydrated.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I've had a similar feeling with the girlfriend, who's kind of on that beginner side, not doesn't have the bug like we do, I'll say per se, but
Yeah.
like it's funny because I saw a post recently online on I forget whose Instagram it was, but it was like get better at your own peril in pickleball because it only gets harder to find like people and groups and stuff. And I was like, that's actually kind of right. Like,
Hmm.
I was thinking about it and I was like, look, if you're like a 3-0 to 3-5, you can play with basically anyone.
Yeah.
Like, there's not really much, as long as they know like the rules and how to play, there's not a lot you have to really you know, change or alter for per se.
Yeah.
You know. I will admit though, I don't miss, racking a paddle for 30 plus minutes to play one game and then waiting 30 minutes again.
That's
That's
how that's how our open play. So like my gym has like throughout the
Yep.
week different levels of open play, but for they only do one Saturdays and it's 4.0 plus. And so but now you're get from what I've been experiencing is you have the people that want to play more challenging levels that are now showing up to that 4.0 and it's like no, like you're not at that level yet. You have like 3 other days of open play in the week that you can go play at. And so now there's like half the people at a Saturday morning are 4.0 or higher. And then there's the people that are like in the 3-5, and you have 8 courts and there's like 80 people there. You're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna
Oh God. 10
play
to
a
a
game,
court.
play a game and sit for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've never been into the listen, if it's a tournament, I get it. Like if there's only so many courts, but at the same time, you got to monitor how many people you let into a draw and stuff like that. I've never been into the waiting like an hour plus or 30 minutes plus to play in between games when I am fresh off of a work day and only have so much time before I have to go home for dinner and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, look, hey, like I said, it's a flexible level. You can play with a lot of people. So, um, all right. Well, I think that probably is just about doing it for us. We do have a little Q&A. I tossed it up last second and we got some
Oh man,
questions.
I
It was
saw it and
literally
I
right before we went on. So, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one.
all
So,
right.
I'm checking right now. Oh, you'll like this one. All right. This one was for both of us,
Okay.
and it is if you were to design a paddle, what shape would it be, and what would the design be, and why? It's a pretty deep question, too. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that is super deep
I think
question.
we're gonna take it in parts. Let's go with what would the shape be first.
Elongated.
Okay. Like like a V7 long handle elongated, or like you have the carbons where it's like they have the short handle elongated and then they have like the longer one that's like a little skinnier kind
I
of.
only I only got the carbon 4.
Okay, so you
So
have the here, let me
if I
grab it quick.
if I were to break it down for a perfect paddle, it'd be elongated style shape and probably like a 5.75 inch handle.
Okay.
Just because I've been running into like I've been wanting to jump into doing the tuies. Um, and there's just some of those paddles that are around like the 5.5. and it still just feels like I'm a little cramped on getting that like top hand grabbing the, throat of the paddle.
There they are. So this is what I meant. Ready? So like this is the carbon one. So like see how it's like long, long, and then this
Yeah.
is the three. And this
Yeah,
is like I call this like the OG shape because back in the day all the paddles were shaped like this. Honestly, the handle was even a little shorter back in the day. It was probably like right there.
yeah.
And it's just like it's a little more flared out, whereas this is like a true like it's a long elongated, so it's above like 16.5 this way.
Yeah.
And then it's a little shorter than I think like 7.5 that way.
So probably
And
more
so
of the carbon one would be where I'm at
yeah,
just
you're probably
because
more this way, I would think.
yeah.
It's funny because I waver between the two. I really liked the elongated on the enhanced Gen 4.5, which I think is honestly in between the two of these. I think it leans a little more this way with a little more handle, but definitely not the handle that is this size because this handle is long.
Yeah.
Now, funny enough though, one of my first paddles was the Paddletech Bantam Saber Pro, and it had a 6.5 inch handle. It was like the only long handle. It was that and one other paddle, the only two you could buy at the time in like 2019. And you could like custom graphics, your like name right here and stuff. It was like 130 bucks. I was like, yeah, let's do it, man. The grit probably wore off in like 2 days,
Oh
knowing
yeah.
paddles back in the day, but we didn't know what grit was. They were all smooth as glass anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look, that's a good shape. I think I'd do a hybrid. Like,
Oh.
because here's the thing. If you can play in a long, as long as it's a good hybrid shape. So like an invader shape or like a pickleball apes pulse S shape, or harmony S shape.
Yeah.
Like either in a long or like a Hyperion, like either the elongated hybrid or like a regular hybrid. Here's the thing though. I'd square the top,
Oh.
which is interesting. Not a lot of people have done this with a hybrid, but thinking more of a square like this where there's still a curve, kind of,
Hmm.
but not a full curve. And here's why. Because when I have the full curve, I find I freaking hit the thing a ton. It drives me insane. I hit so many balls that hit off this dumb curve that would go in if it was a little more square. And I'm like, I don't know if it's a shape thing. Like I do that even on elongated paddles, which rattles my mind. Meanwhile, if it's even just a little square like this, I have clean contact. I don't know if that's like a contact point thing. I've watched it on slow-mo on film and my contact point's in front of me. It looks good, like stuff like that. So I just have always found that interesting. I've never been a huge arrow curve guy. Although I've seen and dissected the benefits. The benefits are there. Like I totally agree with why that's kind of been the trend more in paddles. I just never personally enjoyed them a ton. Although I will admit I do like that Hyperion curve. That's like the one that I really enjoyed usually is the Yola one.
So I actually this is the R4,
Yep, it's
but
got the same curve right
yeah,
there.
but in the R1 compared to the R3 is more squared, like we were saying. I actually like the curve in the R1 compared to like all the other elongateds that are more squared.
Interesting. Well, elongated, I like it more because I feel like it lets the elongated snap around quicker.
Yeah.
So like elongated, I'm right there with you. I just think that in hybrid and wide body, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like,
Yeah,
like
probably.
it like you're already going for like sweet spot and more maneuverability. Like you don't need this extra maneuverability boost, Like
Yeah.
percent maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. That's personal there more than scientific, I would say to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's funny. Yeah, I do still think stand by. I think I would do like a hybrid with a somewhat squared, maybe not a full square top. And then the second one was graphics design. We got to do something like this, in my opinion. It's got to be something cool. Listen, anyone can make this. Or actually, this is a pretty cool. I don't know if you've seen the waves yet. These are pretty cool graphic designs. I really like the
It
the waves
it's
design here.
it's subtle enough without being too flashy. Like I don't know, I'm not a big like
You
flashy.
don't want all this?
No, it's just it's too much. I like
Here,
just
for
like
context, this is the weight. I'm gonna try to hold all three. I might hit myself in the face doing this, but there you go. Like this is the normal one.
yeah,
This is a lot, and then this is subtle.
yeah. The subtle is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I do think this is a bit much. I don't know. I appreciated it, you
Or
know.
like what's the I can't remember the company, but their SpongeBob paddle. I'm like, that's
Oh,
just
Volair.
I'm like
Volair.
that's,
My
that's
co-host is a big Volair guy. That's why I knew that.
I like the paddle.
Yeah.
It's just too much too much going on.
Yeah. I've hit with it once or twice. It's actually a pretty sweet paddle, which is the funny part. And it has SpongeBob on it. And they have one with like peanuts and on that now too and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Listen, I gotta give them a lot of credit. Look, they may not be making a lot of new paddles, but they're definitely all in on the design and aesthetic
Hmm.
side of things. So I'll give them credit there because I don't think many other companies, other than Dynasty, I think that's the only other one I could think of that's really pushing aesthetics.
And
So,
the Dynasty paddle rips. That
yeah,
paddle
the
is
new one
insane.
rips. It
Oh,
freaking crushes balls.
that thing is insane.
I couldn't keep it in with weight. I had to strip it down to such little weight that it was basically meaningless weight at the point. I was like, this thing freaking crushes the ball.
Yeah.
My old men's partner was hitting with it a bit. Like back when I was like getting ready to do the review and doing stuff like that. And I had B-roll of like him and I switching points with it. And like you can see his counter like so much faster with it than without it. And I'm like, geez, I gotta, I don't usually radar gun test. That would have been one of the few where like the pop test for the
Yeah.
radar, like it probably would have done so well in the pop test.
Oh, absolutely. That
And that's
thing.
this shape too. That's the carbon, what is it? It's the three shape. It's like the old school elongated shape because it's got the shorter kind of handle to it and
Yeah,
like
it does.
the wider cheeks per se.
Yep.
So, yeah, no, that's a fun one though. And they definitely pushed design a long time.
Oh yeah.
I about to say every paddle, I think I've hit every Dynasty paddle they've made. But yeah, I was about to say, I remember the Joker and like the V2 face one. Those were some of my favorites for the 14s. And like it was a sticker at one point, and you could feel when you hit it, kind of like a
Yeah.
black ace almost. It was pretty cool. Like that
I
would be interesting. Hitting that now, hitting it side by side with a new paddle. I might have to do that.
I only have their new one, so
Okay.
but I got to
Yeah,
see when I did a podcast with the one of the guys and he was showing me all the other designs and their their graphic matches the name. So like their featherweight is like a boxing glove one. Like it's cool how they tie in the name to their graphic and they have like that, thought process to go with it. It's not just meaningless. So
yeah, no, they definitely kill it for graphics. Like I would give them a 10 out of 10 on graphics. And I actually think they make a great paddle. I think I hit almost all other Gen 2s. They had like a Gen 3.5. He always does the point 0.5. He never does the exact.
no, no.
Um, and then I hit the Gen 4.5 as well. And listen, I'll say the same thing I said in my enhanced review. I think it's incredible marketing. I just don't know if the point 0.5 is actually there or not in the bones when you kind of get in there. But
Yeah.
look, more power to you. You got to separate yourself somehow from the market. Plus the design. Although I think he's doing a blackout version of the 4.5
Yeah.
Gen 2 because I think there are some people that were like, yeah, I don't want a giant face every time I hit the ball. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, come on, But yeah, I mean, all right, we'll take one more. That was actually kind of a long question.
That
So
was
we'll go one more, then we'll call it. All right. Hang on. Where is this bad boy? All right. Right here. Favorite shot. And I'm assuming in pickleball. So, and I just had a light down on me too. Fun. You want to go first?
you go for it on this one.
All right. Hmm, backhand roll.
Ooh, that's a good one. Cross court or straight down the line?
Uh, I kind of want to get it through him on the middle, which is not smart, to be honest. So I'd say cross court,
Okay.
like just a quick attack
Yeah.
from the left. Yeah.
So I would say my best shot is my serve,
Okay.
but my favorite shot, I would probably have to say it's like a while I'm on the left side, but I step around and I rip forehand down the line.
Oh, yeah. It's like the you like come
Yeah.
around kind of. That's a fun
Yeah.
one too. I've done that. That's a good
So
one.
yeah, that's probably like my favorite shot to pull off. It's not high probability. Like it's super like you're hitting it a couple times out of 10, but when you do hit it, it's like, oh, that was a good shot.
Hey, if it works, it works. All right, man. Well, this was fun. Thank you for watching the Not Another Pickleball podcast. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on all socials.